Some technical difficulties. We are now ready to start our joint meeting of the City Council, successor agency to the Redevelopment Agency and Public Finance Authority, and all those listed on our agenda. The call time is 6:45 p.m. Madam Clerk, can we have roll call, please?
Sure. Councilmember Rabb,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Rogers,
Here.
Councilmember Magana,
Here.
Councilmember Corona,
Here.
Mayor Vargas.
Here, thank you. And just for some short, brief rules, we are open as a Zoom link to the community. If you are hearing and watching us, you are muted, and your microphone will become unmuted if you are here to speak during public comments. I will call upon our IT staff if we do have any requests to speak, at which time I will advise them to go ahead and cue you on, and then you will have the normal 3 minutes time limit for any public comment. If you do wish to speak, you're on a telephone, if you're monitoring through the access of a telephone, cell phone, I should say, the feature is *9 would raise your hand to our IT staff. It'll alert our IT staff that you want to speak on an item. If you want to withdraw your request to speak, just hit *9 again. Alrighty, so at this point, we're going to move on. Just so everybody knows, we are zooming in. I, the mayor, is at City Council dais, and council is all spread out. Some are at home, some are at other building offices, so that we can practice our social distancing. So with that, we're going to move on to invocation, which will be delivered by Mayor Pro Tem Rogers. And then after that, we'll remain standing to do our Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Councilman Rabb. If you'd all stand up now, please, for our invocation.
Dear Lord, we ask you to bless the meeting this evening. We ask you to keep our staff, the council, our residents all safe from COVID-19, dear Lord. Tonight we ask a special prayer for protection from all of our wonderful firefighters that are fighting fires all throughout the state of California. We ask that you keep them safe and bring them home to their families. We lift up our nation to you, dear Lord, for peace and love throughout the nation, dear Lord. We ask you to bless the meeting, and we ask all these things in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Please join me as we salute our great nation's flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge
Pledge allegiance
to the
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands
one
one
nation,
nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you both. Item 5 is a report on closed session. Mr. Dunn?
Thank you, Mayor. The council met in closed session to discuss the items listed on the agenda. There were a couple of 2 real property negotiation items and 2 labor negotiation items. The council was updated, gave direction to staff, but there was no reportable action taken tonight.
Very good, thank you. Item 6 is presentation and announcements. 6A is an update by Riverside County Transportation Commission regarding the I-215 Placencia Avenue interchange. Mr. City Manager, do we know who's presenting that from the RCTC?
Mr. Mayor, I saw a note that one person was on, but they were still waiting for the other, and being that I haven't seen them log on yet, I would defer and see if we can come back to it later in the agenda.
When they come on, they'll have access to audio?
We'll try to communicate to them to let us know and
Okay.
we'll-
All right,
go that
folks,
way.
do apologize for that one. We will move on to item 7, which is our approval of minutes. 7A is consideration to approve the minutes of the special joint meeting held on July 14th, 2020, the regular joint meeting held on July 28th, 2020, and the special joint meeting held on August 11th, 2020 of the City Council, successor agency to the redevelopment agencies, and all those listed on the agenda. If there are no questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Rogers, second by Councilman Rogers. Please call a roll call vote.
Hi, do you have access to that person, Bryce, whatever?
Councilmember Rabb,
It looks like he's
Yes.
on, so we have no audio.
Yes.
So I'm hoping we can just have Paul call him.
Councilmember Rabb,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rogers,
Yes.
Councilmember Magana,
Yes.
Councilmember Corona,
Yes.
Mayor Vargas,
Yes,
5-0, motion approved.
thank you. Item 8 is our consent calendar. Consent calendar are items normally enacted in one motion. The mayor or city council may remove a consent calendar item for a separate action. We will have public comment, which will be limited to 3 minutes. Do we have any requests to speak on this, Adam?
Mayor, this is Eric, the city attorney.
Yes?
On item 8H, which is ratifying settlement agreements for Getz Road widening project. One of the agreements, which was for a small property for $3,000, the form of the grant deed is missing from the document because the owner signed the exhibit instead of the agreement. So we'd ask you to approve that, and just knowing that there's a form of grant deed missing.
Okay, very good. Anybody else wishing to pull an item?
Mayor, may I pull item 8M as in Mary for questions?
Okay, anybody else?
Yes, for questioning item 8F as in Frank.
8F, okay. Anybody else? Okay, so before we move on, I just want to double check. IT, do we have any requests to speak?
Hi, Mayor. We have a Karen King with her hand up. Karen, do you wish to speak? No, Mayor.
Okay, very good.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, there you go, Karen. Go ahead, Ms. King.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just connecting and I wanted to speak in public comment. Okay, I'm fine now. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve all but F and M.
Motion to approve the balance of the consent calendar.
Second that.
Okay, I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Rogers, second by Councilman Corona. Have a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Rabb,
Here, or yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Rogers,
Yes.
Councilmember Magana,
Yes.
Councilmember Corona,
Yes.
Mayor Vargas,
Yes.
5-0, motion approved.
Very good, thank you. Okay, we'll go in order of here. Item F, I believe that was you, Mr. Malcolm.
Thank you, Mayor. So I just have a couple of questions. For this project, I'm just absolutely thrilled about this project. It's a long time coming. It's going to be a chance to connect the most southern end of Paris with the rest of it with a proper and safe road. But I did have a couple of questions. In the staff report, it did mention about closing the street because of tree removal. I'm not sure if anyone can answer this, or if Stuart's on here, but
I'm on.
if that includes the removal of the large eucalyptus trees?
Yes, it does. It includes, hi, Stuart McKibben, city engineer. It includes removal of the large eucalyptus trees. And what's actually, one of them's like, I don't know, 100 feet tall. It's gigantic. The roots are really big. And so and the roots are entwined in the gas line and the water line. And so the best way to remove it is to shut the road at no more than 5 days. So we put that in the specs, and we want the council to take action to allow the road closure for 5 days.
Okay, and I take it that also includes that very large one on the west side as well, too?
That was the one I'm talking about on the
Well,
west
that's the one
side.
you're talking, yeah. Okay, and all the other ones along the east side as well?
Well, I'm not sure about, there's a long line of trees, at least 30 of them that have to be removed.
Okay.
That east side.
Okay, so my follow-up question, are we gonna replace, I think we're gonna replace it with landscaping and replace the trees with other trees?
That's not part of the plan. There is a parkway, but it's not part of the plan, and there's a median that has a planter in it, but but we're not replacing the trees.
Okay, and then my next question is too, currently right now, it's very dangerous for anybody to go running or pedestrians, and I think there's been a couple fatalities there, people trying to do that. And but my question is, I know that there is going to be a sidewalk. Will that include also a bike lane, and will the bike lane be a protected bike lane?
The bike lane will be between the curb and the traveled way, so it's not going to be up above the curb, but there will be paint to separate it from the traveled way.
Okay, will it have the separator? I don't want to call them cones, but those flexible barriers.
Yeah, the delineators, we can look at adding those as a change order. I don't think we have them in the bid right now, but we can add those as a change order if that's
okay. Yeah, possible if my colleagues agree, because with GETS, it's going to really connect everybody. I'm looking forward to. I know a lot of people are looking forward to riding their bikes along the way, but right now it just doesn't seem like a safe road, even with the improvements. It's going to be much safer, of course. But I just think that it would just be wonderful to encourage exercise along that corridor. But if possible, we can do that. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing further, I'll entertain a motion to approve item F.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Rab and second by Councilman Corona. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Rab,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rogers,
Yes.
Councilmember Magana,
Yes.
Councilmember Corona,
Yes.
Mayor Vargas.
Yes,
5-0, motion approved.
thank you. Okay, item M, Councilwoman Magana.
Thank you, Mayor. I just had a clarifying question. For item 8M, I noticed that we only had one bidder for this project. Is there a reason why we didn't rebid to allow for a competitive bid?
The project was posted on our city's active bidder platform. So anyone was open, it was open to the public for anyone to bid. And as a result of that, we had 2 interested contractors and only one submitted their bid. We talked to the bidder, who is Superior Pavement Markings. And what he said is there are not that many contractors that do the same type of work. They're very limited, so there's not that many in the local area. But we did advertise, we did hold a pre-bid meeting, and in the end, only one submitted a bid.
Okay, and then a follow-up question to that is, do we feel that that pricing that we received is fair for the work that is being asked of?
Yes, the estimated cost we reached out to our city engineer's office just to see what the estimated costs were for that project. And it was, yes, it was well within the proposed bid amount. So it's also going to include repair stations and hand sanitizer stations.
Okay, that concludes my questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is that all you had?
That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, if no one else has any questions or comments, entertain a motion to approve.
I motion to approve.
Second. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. All right, so we have a motion by Councilwoman Magana, second by Councilman Rab. Please call roll call vote.
Councilmember Rab,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rogers,
Yes.
Councilmember Magana,
Yes.
Councilmember Corona,
Yes.
Mayor Vargas.
Yes.
5-0, motion approved.
Thank you. Okay, item 9 is our public hearings. We have none. Item 10 is business items. 10A is a consideration to approve a 10-month contract with Social Work Action Group, also known as SWAG, for homelessness services in the city of Paris. This will be introduced by Interim Economic Development and Housing Manager Michelle Ogawa.
Hey, good evening, Mayor and members of the council. I'm attempting to share my screen. Okay, can you all see the PowerPoint? Okay, thank you. So, good evening, Mayor, members of the council. The annual contract with the Social Work Action Group, or SWAG, expired on June 30th of this year, and this item for the 2020 to 2021 contract renewal was actually continued from the June 9th City Council meeting due to the proposed contract amount at that time. And staff has since worked with SWAG to reach a contract amount that both parties are more amenable to. So the current proposal for the contract with SWAG for the 2020 to 2021 fiscal year will cover September 1st of this year through June 30th of 2021. The contract is in the amount of $180,000 and does reflect a decrease in services offered by SWAG during that time, which staff is reviewing to supplement with Sheriff's Department resources and in-house staff. And by way of explanation, SWAG cited the implementation of AB 5 for the increase in their cost of doing business in general with the conversion of SWAG staff from independent contractors to direct employees and the financial repercussions of that on the organization. And additionally, since SWAG was initially contracted with the city in 2018, the City of Paris saw a continual decrease in the point-in-time count results from 95 in 2018 to 77 in 2019 and 52 in 2020. And at this time, I'd like to share a video provided by SWAG for their presentation to City Council. So staff is recommending that the city council authorize the execution of the 2020 to 2021 contract with the Social Work Action Group in an amount not to exceed $180,000. And that concludes my presentation. And Aaron Petroff, on behalf of SWAG, is here to answer any questions as well.
Very good, thank you, Michelle. Council, any comments or questions for clarifications before I open up public comment?
Yes, Mayor.
Councilman Corona?
I have some comments and questions. Thank you so much, Michelle, for the presentation, and for Aaron for all the work that you've done. I think the numbers speak for themselves. You know, going from 95, and then right after we contracted with you, then we saw the numbers go down to 77, and then that's in addition to the creation of the homeless task force with myself and Maricela Magana, and then we continue to see the numbers decrease. What I'm concerned about is that in recent events that have transpired, that there seems to be maybe a slight increase in the entire area, not just Paris, but with individuals being released from maybe some from the jails because of the COVID situation. So not so much lately, but in the past few weeks, I've been seeing maybe a slight increase, especially in downtown, of individuals I've never seen before. Is that kind of your perception, or is that just my imagination? Aaron, if you're there.
Yes. Hello, Mayor, City Council, City Leadership. Absolutely. We're seeing the same thing, and not just in Paris, but in all of the cities we serve. We drive through Paris every single day. And as you mentioned, the other day, last week, one particular day, I counted 13 new people that I've never seen before. And, they were visibly disshuffled. A couple of them, I could see their discharge, their like hospital wristband discharge. And the key to that is definitely being on top of the situation and meeting individuals as quickly as possible and helping them get reconnected to proper resources. But yes, we have seen that same thing.
Okay, so the question I have for you is, like, where are they coming from? Are they coming from different parts of the city, different cities? They're kind of pushed over here, or are they coming from the jails? Or
I didn't stop that particular day to engage anybody. But they're not people that are familiar to me or our team from any of the other cities we work in. So I honestly can't answer that. But once we get started, that's absolutely part of our normal intake questions. Is where somebody recently came from, where were they living a year ago, and so forth. So I can't answer that question today, but I can here. Hopefully after September 1st, we can help provide that information.
Okay. Well, I get my comment with this whole situation is that, I know that we're paying the same price, but we're getting less of a service because of the price of the service costs more. So my concern would be that, a few months go by and then we're starting to see a slight uptick, the way that other cities have been doing it. So my concern is that, if possible, that we could bring this back again to kind of evaluate whether what we're doing is working, or do we need extra help. I know nationally people are talking about, and I'm not trying to imply this at all, but the whole trying to defund a certain entity to provide services. Well, the good thing with Paris is that we're not in a position to have to trade one for the other. I think we could, with smart decisions, we could actually increase services like that SWAG provides. So I'm if possible, we could bring this back, kind of get an update in a few months or so. And then also, I know that because of the COVID, myself and Councilwoman Magana, we haven't had the meetings that we usually kind of have regularly. But I know you guys have been meeting and stuff like that. But I would definitely like to have a meeting set up. So if Michelle could get with Aaron, get with law enforcement, get with code enforcement, and set up a homeless task force meeting, so that we can get a feel of what's going on the ground, and that we could help provide support for you all. Because I know, Aaron, the work that you do is incredible. Just to try to get somebody that's been on the streets for months, possibly even years, and then get them out of their situation and convince them to get to a better situation is incredibly hard. But getting somebody that comes from somewhere else and gets on the bus and stops here, that's incredibly easy for that person. But to get them off the streets is incredibly difficult. So your amount of work is tough. I know myself and Councilman Rabb, we actually went and cleaned up an older homeless encampment. We also, a few days before that, we were driving around, and I mean, people were in that weather just sprawled out on the floor, you know, where to the point me and David me and Councilman Rabb had to honk our horn to see if they're okay. So, you know, it's just concerning, especially with the heat and stuff. But I definitely appreciate you. And yeah, that's all my comments. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Mayor, I have comments as well.
Okay.
So I would like to go ahead and thank Swag and Aaron. I know that your work as social workers is truly thankless, so I want to take the opportunity to start off there. As Councilmember Corona mentioned, we haven't met for our Homelessness Task Force Committee, and I'm looking forward to that happening virtually as well. And with that, I also want to include that we do invite public participation. I know as council, I receive a lot of questions regarding this subject matter. And I truly feel that if you participate even in one of our meetings where we invite the various stakeholders to work to address on this subject, that you'll come out of it learning so much and receive a really well worth update of what our city is actually doing to address this issue. So I'm looking forward to that. And that concludes my comments. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? I'll save my comments till after I find out about public comment. Do we have any requests to speak from the public?
No, Mayor, no requests to speak.
Anybody in the public wishing to speak at this time, please wave your hand on Zoom or *9 on your cell phones.
Hi, Mayor. We got a Mark Yarbrough.
Okay, go ahead, Mark. You got 3 minutes. You there, Mr. Yarborough?
Hello, Mayor. Can you hear me?
Yes, you go ahead, please.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and staff. I've been in touch with the city staff regarding attending meetings when everything kind of derailed with COVID. And I agree with council member Corona that absolutely, you know, the meetings are very important, the public meetings, because obviously this problem won't solve itself, but you've made great stride with the city staff and SWAG in addressing some of these issues. But there needs to be, you know, there needs to be a base set up and how to deal with my understanding is the majority of the problem is vagrancy that we're experiencing here in the city, and simply policy in place that will allow the police and code enforcement to deal with it. So I would engage, you know, ask you to, you know, at the earliest convenience to, if you can facilitate a meeting, whether it's a physical distance meeting with a group of people or a Zoom meeting, whatever it takes to stay on top of it. There's a lot of resources that are out there available that I'm aware of that we have not been able to bring to the city of Paris. And I've had firsthand experience working with some homeless people. Like they were actually from the city of Riverside, where we were able to get them up and running. So look forward to participating at earliest convenience. And thank you for the good job everyone's doing.
Thank you, Mr. Yarborough. Anybody else?
Yes, Mayor. We have a James Acevedo.
Mr. Acevedo, you may go forward. You have 3 minutes.
Am I on?
Yes, you're on.
I just wanted, Mayor, to thank you. This is James Acevedo. I'm the owner of Grapevine Development. We do a number of projects throughout California and recently in Arizona. I have both my architect and project management team on the line, but I really wanted to take this opportunity to thank you, Mayor, and your council for wanting to work with us. And I especially want to thank your staff, very professional, Michelle, Clara, for working with us for past year, I think now, on moving this forward. So if there's ever any questions, I'm sure they have the ability to contact us. And again, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Escobedo. Anybody else?
No, Mayor?
Okay, Aaron, you still on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I too want to thank you and SWAG for everything that you do for our city, and the numbers are, the data is there, and it shows proof that we have improved in our homelessness issues in Paris. I agree with Councilman Corona, and what I'd like to know from you is, what I'm saying is I'm not happy about having to lose one member of the team because of costs, but is 3 months from now or 6 months from now would be a good time to reevaluate the needs that we need for Paris as far as bringing back on that person that we're dropping now, if it's approved?
Yeah, we're open. You know, the need is there clearly, as you mentioned, and money is the last thing I want to have to talk about. But we have to stay in the black and not in the red. So we absolutely will. We want to be good partners, and we will continue to discuss and reevaluate. As often as you would like us to. Really, I would like to be able to say we need less services. But we truly do. And I think there's been some opportunities recently with the state there was a last minute grant possibility for converting old hotels to homeless housing. And we were kind of behind the ball on that. But, that's something we definitely would like to work with you and your staff on, is exploring other funding opportunities where we can support you, and it doesn't have to be such a large impact. We know, every city and every county is experiencing a loss of revenue. So we want to continue to be good partners, and we don't want to, we want to be an asset to the community. So we're open to reevaluating as much as you need us to.
Well, I would like for staff to have you come back in 3 months. That's provided you have our homeless task force has a meeting hopefully within a month from now, so that you all can discuss what's going on with the latest as far as newcomers coming into our city. And we'll have staff bring you back with a report to a council meeting 3 months from now. And then maybe we can reevaluate it at that point. And I would like to see staff, city manager, you can have IT do a story or a post, something that shows the numbers, how they have decreased because of the work of SWAG and what's going on with our homeless task force as well. I think it's very important that we let the community see how things have improved, because I still get a lot of complaints and comments about the homelessness problems in Paris, but they have been, if anything, decreasing since I've been mayor. And I'm not saying that to take credit. I'm just saying since we all came along and have SWAG, our numbers are decreasing. They're not increasing. Now, recently, as Councilman Corona indicated, yes, we do have a spark of a few extras, and I think a lot has to do with the jails releasing persons with COVID and what have you. But I think it's important that we show the stats to the city or to our residents to see how the numbers are going. This slide presentation that they gave us was really good. I mean, it shows how and where people have gone by their assistance, and also the numbers that have come back to being homeless. It is important that we know and that we share that some folks just don't want the help, and that's not the fault of the city nor of SWAG. That's an individual's choice. But I would like for us to at least display numbers and showing the improvement that we have in our city through our social media. Okay, with that, any other council person have a comment before we move on? Okay, at this point, I'm going to call for a motion on the contract.
I want a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilman Corona, second by Councilwoman Magana. Please call the roll call vote.
Councilmember Rabb,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rogers,
Yes.
Councilmember Magana,
Yes.
Councilmember Corona,
Yes.
Mayor Vargas,
Yes.
5-0, motion approved.
Very good. Item 10B is consideration to appoint a city council member as a voting delegate and up to 2 alternates for the League of California Cities Virtual Annual Conference, which will be held October 7th, 2020 to October 9th, 2020. This will be introduced by our city manager, Richard Bermudez.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, thank you. As you are all aware, annually, the League of Cities has their conference, and at the end of the conference, they have a voting delegation. This year, because of the COVID-19, there will be no in-person conference. It will be a virtual conference. Nonetheless, they're asking for the city to designate the voting delegate. So typically, we kind of evaluate who's actually attending the conference, and then we pick from there. This year, pretty much any one of you can attend if you so desire from your own comfort of your own home. So I'll leave it at the council to designate a person, and we'll move forward.
Okay, council, anybody want to nominate anybody? Or anybody want to volunteer? Don't all jump at one time?
If no one else wants to do it, I'll do it this year, because I know last year Councilwoman Magana did it, and the year before that it was Councilman Coronas. But just if anyone else doesn't want to do it.
Well, seeing no one jumping out of my screen, Councilman Rabb, I nominate you, sir. Thank you for volunteering.
Mr. Barrett, I apologize. It's also requested for alternate, so.
I will step up and be an alternate, but I'm holding to it that Councilman Rabb will, oh, wait a minute, I see Councilwoman Magana is asking to be an alternate. Very good, there you have it. Councilman Rabb is your primary, alternate would be Councilwoman Magana. Thank you both for stepping up.
Thank you.
Okay, item 11 is public comment. Do we have any public comments, IT department?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. We are going to go back to our earlier on agenda and bring a presentation. This is item 6A. This is an update by the Riverside County Transportation Commission. Yes. Oh, okay. Hold on, folks. We got to get a motion and, all right, so let's formally do this one. I need someone to do the motion that we are nominating Councilman Rabb and Councilwoman Magana as first and alternate.
I would like the motion to have Councilman Rabb be our delegate and Councilwoman Maricela to be our alternate. I think they'll do a fantastic job.
I will second that motion.
I thought you would, Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you so much. Call the vote, please.
Councilmember Rabb,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Rogers,
Yes.
Councilmember Magana,
Yes.
Councilmember Corona,
Yes.
Mayor Vargas,
Yes.
5-0, motion approved.
Okay, very good, thank you. And I do apologize for members from the RCTC. I did not go back to you earlier. So item 6A is our presentation by the Riverside County Transportation Commission regarding the I-215 Placencia Avenue interchange. And if you could identify yourself, who's here to speak?
Yes, this is Bryce Johnston, construction manager from RCTC.
Thank you, Bryce.
And Mark, are you on? I'm not hearing Mark Lancaster. If he's not on, then I guess I'll, or not if I can't talk, I can cover.
You got the floor, Bryce.
Okay, I have one question. I have the file on my computer and I'm not sure if staff gave your folks our file. Otherwise, you'll need to share a screen with me and I can bring up our PowerPoint.
Paul, can we get that done?
So you have the file as I understand?
They're bringing it up, Bryce.
Okay, thank you.
That's the wrong one.
Well, I can fake that one. No.
Oh,
Yeah, this is just a short PowerPoint with a video. Okay,
right.
so, okay, so thank you, Mayor and council members, that we can come and introduce ourselves as we're just getting started. Some of you know Mark Lancaster, who I did see on the call earlier. He led this project during the design phase, and it's now passing over to me during the construction phase. I am the construction manager for the capital projects with RCTC. So next slide, please. So as many of you are aware, there's been a long relationship between the RCTC and the City of Paris, and the recent projects, the most recent was the Metrolink Paris Valley line, which had a lot of interaction with the city. And about 5 years back, the I-215 Central project, and in addition, the 74-215 interchange 7 years ago. In all of those cases, there was partnering with the city and with the county of Riverside and Caltrans. And it's very much the same group of agencies that are involved in the Placentia interchange. And we've already had many meetings with the city staff, coordinating, your adjacent project and the utilities in the area. And so we are just getting started with the project as of this week. Next slide. So we awarded an approximate $30 million contract to Riverside Construction in June. Riverside Construction, I've worked around them for more than 20 years, and they are a local company, major contractor. We have a construction management firm, which is TRC. They were formerly Valley Cooper, and they will provide the construction management under contract to RCTC. The work actually started in the field yesterday, although we started 3 months ago with all the pre-work and different submittals that have to go in. But we got all the documents in with Caltrans and received our encroachment permit from them yesterday morning. So there should be activity actually in the field as of today. The general schedule for the project is from this point for about 2 years to summer of 2022. Although everyone needs to recognize in construction that we are subject to weather and other potential delays. And so that's a tentative date right now that will be done in the summer of 2022. Slide. So from RCTC, our goal is to be very good partners with our other agencies, including the City of Paris. And as we go through the project, there's always issues we have to resolve, and we usually try to get them done quickly because time is always money. And so we will always work with your staff to avoid issues if it involves working with the city. And I'm here that anyone can reach out to. I'm involved in the project on a daily basis. Our goal is always safety first, but we always try to minimize impacts to the local residents and businesses and everyone that's traversing through this area. There's quite a few acres that we will be dealing with, and there'll be a lot of dirt being moved and structures being involved, and traffic control at different times on the freeway and local streets. So also we'll be available whenever the council would like to have us come back and provide updates on how our progress is, because we do want to be transparent that all the locals in the city knows exactly how our project's going. I think the next slide might be the video. Oops.
We are breaking ground. The Riverside County Transportation Commission and our project partners, Caltrans, the Federal Highway Administration, the City of Paris, and the County of Riverside are starting work on the brand-new Interstate 215 Placentia Avenue interchange. Although COVID-19 restrictions don't allow us to gather in person, please celebrate virtually with us by watching this video to learn more about what's planned for this area and how to stay connected. RCTC looks forward to delivering another project in the fast-growing Paris Valley and welcomes your support. The Riverside County Transportation Commission and Caltrans are excited to begin construction of a new way to enter and exit Interstate 215 in Paris and Meade Valley in Riverside County. Construction of the new I-215 Placentia Avenue interchange starts August 2020 and should be open by summer of 2022. A new interchange will be located between Ramona Expressway to the north and Nuevo Road to the south, and is designed to meet the needs of the area's growing population, with an estimated 425 jobs to be created. The project will also help Riverside's economic recovery. RCTC awarded a $30 million contract to Riverside Construction. The interchange project is the first construction segment of the Mid-County Parkway, a planned 16-mile east-west route between Paris and San Jacinto. The Mid-County Parkway is designed to improve traffic flow between these areas and provide a new connection to Route 79 and the bus and rail facilities that support Metrolink's 91 Paris Valley line. Future segments of the Mid-County Parkway are not funded, so the timing of any further work is uncertain. However, RCTC is actively seeking grant funding for these future segments. The I-215 Placentia Avenue interchange will offer significant benefits to drivers. The project will expand access to I-215 by adding new northbound and southbound on-ramps and off-ramps, improve traffic flow by realigning East Frontage Road, widening the existing Placentia Avenue overcrossing, and adding lanes to Placentia Avenue between Harville Avenue and Indian Avenue. The City of Paris also is widening Placentia Avenue between Indian Avenue and Paris Boulevard from 2 to 5 lanes. The city's widening project will be completed at the same time as RCTC's interchange project. RCTC will build 3 stormwater detention basins to reduce flooding for added safety on local streets. The interchange will promote clean air and less gasoline use by reducing the number of idling vehicles in the area. During construction, please expect periodic lane closures, including a 10-month full closure of the Placentia Avenue Bridge over I-215. The bridge closure will cut 6 months from the overall construction schedule and provide a safer work area for crews by separating the construction zone from local traffic. Please slow down, allow extra travel time, watch for crews and equipment, be alert to changing conditions, and follow detours. Stay connected by signing up for official construction updates from RCTC, following us on social media. Thanks for your support as we build this important project.
Okay, that's the end of the video, and the last slide is just our Stay Connected, which was also at the end of the video. And as you can see there on the drawing and the video, it wasn't clear, but the end result is you'll have a full functioning interchange and improvement on some of the adjacent local roads. So that's basically the end of the presentation. And on the Stay Connected, Cheryl Donahue, Marla Dye, we have a public outreach group who will coordinate with the city along with us. And this is a way that you can reach RCTC to interact with us on the project. And so with that, I can take any questions that you would have.
Very good, Bryce. Thank you. Council, anybody have any questions?
Yes, I do have a question, Mayor. Bryce, I got a question. I was asked by a resident. I was trying to look for it in the video. I didn't see like the rendering of what it's going to look like. Is it going to be the Clover model, or is it going to be, where if you want to go across
it's Diamond Interchange. It's a more typical interchange.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Bryson, so we have a copy of that video. It's okay for us to go ahead and put it on our social media?
Sure.
Excellent. So we'll, city manager, if you can have IT put that out, that'd be great. Okay, Bryce, thank you very much for showing up. I apologize for the delay, but that's technology for us, so thanks for coming out again.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, that brings us back to item 11, public comment. IT, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, Mayor. We have a Mark Yarbrough.
Mr. Yarborough, are you on?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Actually, I know Don Meinberg from Service Masters wanted to speak. If I could follow him, I would appreciate that, sir.
Okay, you guys on?
Mic is allowed for Donald.
Hello? He should be on his own Zoom channel.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Donald, go ahead. You've got 3 minutes.
Well, first of all, good evening, and I want to thank you, Mayor, and all the distinguished members of our city council and our city staff. My name is Don Meinberg, but I think many of you know me as Pastor Don from Reflections Christian Fellowship. I planted my church from the city of Riverside back in September of 2011 here in the city of Paris. I actually came from Riverside, so I literally had a choice to plant my church anywhere in the Inland Empire. But I chose Paris because I truly love this city and the direction that it was going. Fast forward 9 years later, and praise God, my church is still here, but I am here today representing a great company called ServiceMaster. ServiceMaster is an emergency restoration company. But after the deadly spread of COVID-19, this company has spent much time and an enormous amount of money to become a national industry leader in COVID-19 treatment, sanitization, and disinfection of commercial, industrial, and municipal buildings. ServiceMaster's materials and processes are approved by OSHA, EPA, CDC, and all other disease and virus control organizations. Currently, ServiceMaster is currently approved by the County of Riverside and have done many successful jobs in county facilities. And thanks to the effort of Clara and other city staff, ServiceMaster is currently an approved vendor for the city of Paris. We also are an approved supplier by the Paris Union High School District. Now, there should be a flyer on each of your emails that was sent to you today by Judy Connie. The title of the flyer says, "Is your city safe from COVID-19 pandemic?" Then on the flyer, you will see a picture of our gym, a senior center, city hall, and our city parks. I mentioned it first that I planted my church here because I truly love this city. And I believe that we need to keep our city safe from this deadly virus so our kids can play in our gyms, our seniors can enjoy the center daily, and our children can have fun in our parks without fear. People in this city want to come back and use our beautiful facilities, but they also want to be sure that the city has done everything humanly possible to make it safe for all. I truly believe in my heart that ServiceMaster is the company that can make our city of Paris safe to reopen for the public with confidence. So I ask you to strongly consider utilizing ServiceMaster as your solution to disinfecting and sanitizing our public areas in order to keep our residents and all city workers safe. Thank you so much for this time.
Thank you, Mr. Meinberg. Okay, but Mark, did you want to follow by him?
Yes, sir. Thank you again. Mark Yarbrough, business owner, former council member. And I've been working with Pastor Don on bringing ServiceMasters. We put our focus on the Paris Valley, whether it's cities, school districts, because the city has already demonstrated that they're a leader in taking an approach, proactive approach in so many areas. We've met with the We did a Zoom meeting with the mayor pro tem. We met with Clara on a number of occasions. We understand that you've brought some in-house staff for the daily janitorial services, which is excellent. But I think that the biggest thing that for me is I asked myself, what would I do if I was sitting in your seat, which I did for many years, and what would be the most important thing? And the thing that came to me, especially after hearing a meeting a couple of, probably about a month ago, was the feedback from the staff. There seemed to be a lot of concern with the with health safety regarding COVID. It's very unpredictable. You were getting different opinions from experts. I know the county of Riverside has been very aggressive. Unlike most cities and most counties, the city of Paris, we've gone to great lengths to build reserves and allow us to move forward. And I believe we'll be able to do that. However, I think the word that I want to share with you is assurance. We need to provide assurance for our staff. We need to provide assurance for the public so that they know when they go and come, whether it's to a park or at City Hall or any public properties, that they have the assurance that we've done everything we can. There's no guarantees on this because this thing has turned out to be such a weird thing, and we'll leave the politics out of it, but the assurance is important, and for me, especially the staff, because the bottom line is without the staff, the city cannot operate. We can have city council members and mayors and senior management, but you need those other 80 people to run the rest of the city and actually do it. So they need the assurance that they can come to work and everything is being done. And Service Masters has that ability to pretty much do anything you need. Obviously full service if you need emergency disinfecting, but they can also provide certification, training, and a number of things. So this is the information we're here to share. And we believe that we can make your jobs easier and decisions much more easier, so we can provide the assurance to the public and to your staff. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Yarborough. IT, anybody else?
Yes, Mayor. Ms. Karen King requested to speak during public comment. Ms. King, your mic is on.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Karen King, and I'm a resident of the Monument Ranch community. And I'm here today on behalf of the members of that community. I want to express concerns and create awareness as to the level of pollution our neighborhood has been continually subjected to as a result of the illegal off-roading activity adjacent to our homes. This same activity was presented before council a few years ago, and I believe at that time, Councilmember Rogers was present. But at that time, council voted and established an emergency ordinance that off-roading was illegal in the city of Paris. And at that time, I believe it was Police Chief Judge, and he took action, and they dispatched police on quads to the location, and riders were ticketed. This was helpful, and it eliminated the activity, however, only temporarily. And since then, riders have returned and the off-roading has increased. This activity is taking place on Ethernac Road, west of Getz Road, where Ethernac dead ends. Riders jump the curb and ride south, affecting those who live on Monolith Trail. In the other area where the off-roading activity is taking place is off of Mapes Road and South 8th Street. So residents have placed continuous calls to the Riverside Sheriff's Department, Paris Police, and the Paris Force. But so the activity continues, and the pollution that it creates from the road dust affects our quality of life. Residents have been negatively impacted in numerous ways. One of the ways is considerable property damage, requiring us to continually clean our solar panels, our windows, our air conditioning units, our cars, and our outdoor furniture. Our peace and tranquility has diminished for homeowners as riders create a disturbance from the noise and the loud music. They operate all hours of the day and night, from as early as 7 a.m. to maybe 1 a.m. with their blaring lights beaming through our windows. These riders show no regard or concern for our nearby community. They've driven on the dirt so frequently that they've paved their own road. There's also health issues. Some residents are at risk for increased illnesses as the pollution and the dust are inhaled through our bodies, like those with asthma and other respiratory illnesses. I myself have been subjected to the road dust while trying to enjoy the outdoors after just showering or washing my hair. It's unbelievable that residents should be allowed to live in conditions where even people who work in dust-related fields like construction aren't allowed increased exposure to dust. They have workplace standards to prevent this type of pollution. My suggestion for a possible solution is maybe regular patrolling of the area, possibly by the Paris Task Force or the police, especially in the summer months or on weekends and holidays. That's when the activity increases. Ticketing with maybe increased fines, blocking off the area, maybe with more concrete pavers, because currently right there where Ethernet dead ends, there are some concrete pavers. However, it only prevents the people from entering, going west
Ms.
on
King,
Ethernet. It
Ms.
doesn't
King.
prevent them from
Ms.
jumping the curb.
Ms. King, I'll let you go
Yes.
beyond your 3 minutes. I need you to wrap it up in 10 seconds.
Yes.
And then at the conclusion of this 10 more seconds I'm going to give you, if you would
Okay.
send me an email to M. Vargas, that's M as in Michael, V as in Victor, ARGAS, at thecityofparis.org, and I would like to communicate further with you and get in an engagement on what's been going on, what we have been doing, so we can communicate a little better. So if you don't mind, please wrap it up in 10 seconds.
Okay, so basically, so today we're just here to impress upon the council the need to take enforcement action and to institute measures to curtail this off-road activity. And thank you.
Excellent.
time.
Thank you, Mrs. King. IT, anybody else?
Yes, Mayor. We have an Andy Echeverry requesting to speak.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, council members. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm the RC for the AYSO in Paris. Now, I just wanted to see if you guys had any idea on we could return to play. I know with the situation with COVID-19, it's a little difficult to figure out what we could do, but I know for a fact that the council members from the county of Paris had allowed youth sports to start, maybe just practices. Of course, observing social distancing. We have a lot of parents asking us when we're going to be able to come back to play. I've been talking to some of your staff members regarding that, and I believe it's up to you, the council members, to decide when that's going to be implemented. I'm just asking, to please take into consideration that these children have not been able to do any outdoor activities for the past 8 months. A lot of them, this is a big part of their development. This is something they've been doing for a long time, and I know this COVID-19 issue has put a damper in a lot of our daily lives. But I think we have put forth a good plan to return to play, which makes it safe for our children to come back. And I'm afraid that if we don't come back soon, we're gonna lose a lot of interest in this kids, and it's just going to be detrimental to not only our program, but also to the development of children. So I just urge you guys to please consider letting us come back, of course, on a safe manner. Like I said, we have plans that would mitigate any type of contact between the kids. But I think it's really important to have these children come out and do some activities. Especially with soccer, usually our season, we have over 450 kids every season. So we do a lot for the community, and we have involvement with the parents and so forth. So I'm just asking you guys to please consider this as soon as possible and give us an indication on when we could return to play. And we're willing to, stick to any rules or things that you guys want us to follow, but we're ready to come back. So thank you.
Thank you, Andy. If you're still on, please follow up with an email to me too as well. It's kind of difficult in dealing with situations on Zoom meetings, but mvargas at
Sure.
cityofparis.org, I'd appreciate it.
I will, sir.
Thank you. Okay. IT, anybody else?
Yes, Mayor, we have a Sonia Molina requesting to speak.
Put her on, please.
Yes, hello. Hi, you have both Sonia and Elias Molina, husband and wife.
Hello, good evening.
And yes, thank you for giving us the time to speak regarding our concern. And one person has already expressed it. We live in Monument Ranch community, and behind our community and our house faces the nice nature view behind in the hills. And the disruptions that are caused by the off-road vehicles coming. Besides what was said, we also like to say that there's shootings that are going on very close to the community. And a couple of times we've had to call the sheriffs. And the last time, which was earlier this month, they shot towards the house when I whistled, and but they shot towards the house, and you could hear the bullet whizzing through. And so it just becomes really an unsafe place for us. And we're having to stay more indoors and close our windows because of the dust. We have a 2-story house, and the solar panels on top have to be cleaned on a monthly basis, and I do the cleaning, by the way, so it gets a little bit also dangerous, but at the same time, I try to be very careful, but still there's a danger there. And then we're having to pay extra in fees from last year when I caught this, that the panels were actually getting too dirty, and so we had to pay for electricity more than we expected, $1,200 to be exact for the whole year. And so we wanted to bring this up to you all as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Molina.
Thank
IT,
you.
anybody else?
Yes, Mayor, we have an Allison Wright requesting to speak. Miss Allison, your mic is on. Miss Allison, your microphone is unmuted.
All right, let's move on to the next one, if there's one.
That's all the public comments, Mayor.
Miss Allison, can you hear me? This is Mayor Vargas. Your microphone's been turned on. Okay. Is there anybody out there that's maybe keyed on that wishes to speak?
No, Mayor, that's it for public comment. Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on to item 12, council comments. Councilman Corona.
Thank you, Mayor. Let me just get set up here. Okay. I do want to start off by thanking the speakers that brought up those issues, especially in Monument Ranch, which is my neighborhood. I was in communication with some of the speakers and some other residents too that had similar concerns. I know our city council has definitely been pushing for it to for our law enforcement and code enforcement to be out there. I do know that the sheriff even posted it and said that there shouldn't be any more. And as they were about to do a large scale presence there, all the protests started going around in the area, and I don't think they've ever had a chance to really put in all their efforts. Although from speaking to some residents, it has definitely been less. But I think what we're having more is just individual people, and some of those people are within the same neighborhood. and then at the same time, some people they're coming all the way from Temecula and Hemet and other places, which all those places have places to go right in, but they want to come to our area and be right next to the houses, which tend to cause an issue. And I think it's just important that our law enforcement is aware of it, and if we could communicate with them and maybe educate the riders that area is no longer a place to be riding, because there's houses and it's private land and it's not for them to be riding. So I'll definitely get in communication with them again, and just expect a phone call or email from me. I do want to give a special thanks to our staff for doing a lot of work. I know that in the consent calendar, some things get lost in there, but within there was pretty historical, actually, because what we did was we voted for 3 things having to do with 3 different parks within our city. So it was very important with the first one voting for a multi-million-dollar soccer field in North Paris at Morgan Park. So expect that to be happening soon. It took years to plan for that stuff, and within a quick second vote, it got approved. At the same time, too, Copper Creek Park, which is a park that I grew up at, is going to have a restroom, a proper restroom. So that's finally happening at Copper Creek. So in the center of Paris, they're going to get that, along with a futsal court, like indoor soccer, and multi-use court as well too. So we're trying to bring people in there. And then, of course, the land acquisition for the upcoming Enchanted Hills Park, which hopefully will start breaking ground soon. So I definitely want to thank our staff for doing it. All those that were involved in it. I also want to give a special thanks to our council members for really proving that the city of Paris does value our parks, and that we care that they are safe and clean and enjoyable for all residents. And especially a special thank you to my colleague that sits on the Parks and Rec, Mayor Pro Tem Rita Rogers, for doing that. It's been an absolute pleasure to serve on there, and it's just a great committee to serve on. I also want to remind the residents, if you haven't done your U.S. Census, you need to do it. It's very important that you do it for different reasons. Number one, it's law. You have to do it. Number 2, you get resources. So the city of Paris would get resources for how many people we have. So we're actually well below where we should be at. So you have until September 30th, but I need you to get on that. And maybe somebody wants to kind of translate it for our Spanish folks at home too. But make sure you do that. It's for special resources. We also get more representation, political representation, statewide and whatnot. So very important you do that. And also a quick reminder to register to vote. You need to register to vote, make your voices heard for those who can. Going back to the U.S. Census, though, you do not have to be a U.S. citizen to fill out your census. And you do not even have to be, your status here is not an issue, but you still have to do it. And I guess that's about it. So I'm very excited about the parks, and especially, of course, the soon-to-be-open parks down south in Guest Park. But that's all for me. Thank you so much, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Reb?
Yes, I'd like to thank all the speakers for coming out tonight and sharing their opinions and giving us information about different problems throughout the city. And if staff can get back with Ms. King and the Molinas regarding the off-roaders at the Monument Park area. I remember being in attendance at the meeting prior to getting onto the council, and staff working really diligently to resolve the issues they had in early 2014. So we can work with the residents of Monument Ranch to address those issues in a timely fashion. I know since COVID-19, a lot of people have been off-roading. I live not too far from the post office, and there's been a lot of off-roading down 7th and the empty lots right over there too. So I think it's something we need to work on curtailing in the area. Another issue that I've spoken with the city manager about is if we can get with code and public works to contact the property owners and to specify locations. So there's an area that is bounded by 4th Street, as 4th Street passes Park Avenue and curves around over to Family Basket on one end, Park Avenue to the south, and I believe it's Witt Street. It's a dirt road, or 11th Street when 11th Street becomes a dirt road. Family Dollar's in that area. It's a really extensive area. There's a lot of growth and vegetation in that area. There's been a lot of fires in that area. Many residents who live on Park Avenue, East or West 7th Street, West 8th Street, West 9th Street in that area they've complained about a lot of the fires getting caused by a lot of the homeless people in that area. So if we can reach out to the various property owners in that area, particularly the property owners who own land that borders 4th Street and that borders Park Avenue, to clean the vegetation. For instance, you go by Family Dollar, there's all these trees and overgrowth that's there in the area. Councilman Corona, we're doing some political work over the weekend before last, and we noticed a lot of the vegetation and a lot of the trash in the area. So if we can work with the property owners in that area to get it cleaned in the next 2 to 3 months, it would really improve the look of that area. On another note, I would like to be provided with the zoning for the area that is bounded by Wilkerson on the east, Paris Boulevard on the west, San Jacinto on the north, and 4th Street on the south. I just want to see how that area is configured in zoning. If you're familiar with that area, it's very light industrial. There's a few houses and a few apartment buildings scattered in the area. Primarily, I want to see if the area is zoned light industrial, because I don't want to see a warehouse developer attempting to vacate those streets and place warehouses along San Jacinto, down G Street, and just really crowding that area with industrial buildings. I think the term light industrial has been expanded to include buildings that are 100,000 square feet, 200,000 square feet. And I'd hate to see that so close to our downtown area and our residents. Another thing is that Pulte Homes. Pulte Homes are the homes, the Avelina homes, that are located on Evans and Orange area. I met with the residents back in February, right before COVID-19 hit. They expressed concerns regarding the landscaping and finishing of the trail behind there. From what I understand, Pulte Homes has not been responsive to holding up to their end of the deal and completing the landscaping on Orange and completing the trail south of Orange down to Nuevo Road. So if we can contact Pulte Homes and really impress upon them the seriousness of completing that, and impress upon if the council desires maybe even revoking their bonds or moving towards some legal action to get that area fixed and get that area finished for the residents in that area. And then just one final thing regarding Copper Creek, Councilman Corona mentioned it, and just want to thank the members of the park committee and moving forward on that. It's very needed, and I think it caps off one of the last parks that lacks a restroom. And one final thing, just want to wish everyone a happy Labor Day. We're moving into September. We got a few more days of the heat, so drink plenty of fluids, stay out of the sun, and once again, happy September and happy Labor Day. Thank you, Mayor Vargas.
Thank you. Councilwoman Magana?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd also like to begin my comments by thanking the public comment speakers regarding the off-road activity. We are definitely working on that. It's been on council's radar. So staff and council and along with our code enforcement and various entities that can get involved, we're going to go ahead and look into ways that we can provide creative solutions to curtail some of that off-road activity. And so on another note, I sit on the Southern California Association of Governments. They're coming up for a final adoption and approval of their Connect SoCal plan, which outlines greater mobility, cleaner air, and better access to job centers in Riverside County. So if you're interested in learning more about that and what that looks like, this plan is found on, you can find more information on connectsocal.org. And this is worth repeating. So the census is happening now, and this is the first time that this one is happening, and it's available online and over the phone. And the census helps us determine how much federal funding will be allocated to local communities for public services and infrastructure needs. And a low response rate and an undercount could potentially have dramatic effects on funding and resources available for the region and for the city of Paris. So now more than ever, it's important that residents respond to the census. Like I said, you could do this online or over the phone. So make sure you and your family get counted. And please continue to stay safe. That concludes my comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, I'd like to thank Karen King for coming back tonight. I remember when you came before, and you're right. Captain Judge took tremendous enforcement actions to make sure that your community was restored back to peace of mind and that you didn't have to deal with the off-roaders. Apparently, a few years later, the same people, I think, are just bored and looking for things to do and making your life terrible, which is awful. So you should be able, particularly in this hot weather, to be outside, try to get a cool breeze, and just relax and enjoy yourself. So we're going to make sure that doesn't continue. We have been aware of it. People have complained about it. So we have a Chief Matt Sims now, and he will be making sure that that is definitely taken care of. So I just want to assure you of that, as we took care of it that time before a few years ago. And I want to thank the other couple for coming out as well. And I see also that Miss Allison Wright is a resident of Monument Ranch. So please know it is definitely on our radar, and we will make sure that you don't have to experience that, and that your neighborhood is not disrupted with a bunch of people on quads, dusting the whole area and making you have to go up on the roof and clean those solar panels repeatedly. So just want to assure you of that, and thank you for being here tonight. I also want to remind everyone that's been impacted by COVID-19 that the city still has money for business assistance program loans of up to $10,000. There's still money available for those of you who've been impacted and need some assistance with rental help, as well as your mortgage payments and utility assistance programs. So please, if you need the help, reach out. That's what the money is there for. And we do have money available to help. As far as our seniors are concerned, the senior delivery of the Great Plains program is still going to September 9th. Every 30 days it's continued. So with where we are right now with COVID-19, I'm sure it will be continuing after that. And then we still have the drive-through lunch programs from Monday through Friday for our seniors as well, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And while we're not able to meet in person and people cannot have access to City Hall, you are able to go online, schedule appointments, not come into the council chambers or to the counter, but you are able to drop off your water bill money or do it online. So we still have business. It's just different because we want to keep you safe. We want to keep our employees safe. And COVID-19, we hope the numbers continue to go down. It's encouraging to see that both San Diego County and Orange County have come off the watch list, the state watch list. So it means that the children can resume to classes and businesses can open up. Riverside County is trying to get there. They say if we have continuous testing, we may be able to get to that level. So we'll just stay safe, wear our masks, practice social distancing, and continue with our Zoom platform. So thank you all for being here and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Okay, just briefly, I have to reiterate as well as regarding the census, it is very extremely important to please complete your census. It does bring us a lot of resources to our city, and it's just very important that we all complete our census. It's pretty easy too, also online. For the Pulte homes as well, to piggyback on Councilman Rabb, also is the streets. The streets have not been finished as well, in particular the intersection of Evans and Orange. There's a few dips there that I do get repaved from time to time when I do get a hold of them, but I think they're done with all their homes. They should be finishing their final coat of the pavement as well as landscaping and everything else that Mr. Councilman Rabb brought up. As far as the issues going on in Monument Ranch and the BLM area out there with the off-roading, Ms. King, if you're still listening, if not, she's going to be emailing me, and I'm going to make her my point of contact and set up a Zoom meeting, a little community meeting with folks from that area. And I will invite, we can only have 2 council persons, the mayor and 1 other person, so we don't violate the Brown Act. So being that Mr. Mr. Corona lives in that area, I will invite Councilman Corona to that committee meeting as well. And just a time for us to exchange information and thoughts and ideas, and because it is on our radar, as everybody has mentioned. We have been on our police department and and city manager as well for code enforcement's involvement. We do have Citizens Patrol. And there's resources that we need to all talk about and things that the community needs to understand too as far as the involvement with the police. And I do have to reiterate, as I have in the past many times, social media is not a place to report any type of crime in the city of Paris. A lot of times folks will be going back and forth in excess of 80, 90 comments back and forth, and no time during that middle of all those comments did anybody call the police. If there's an issue going on in your immediate area, or you're seeing, you're witnessing, if you're not calling 911, if it's not a 911 emergency type call, please call the dispatch phone number, which is 951-776-10099, option 5. That puts you right in line with our dispatch center for the police department. And I highly encourage everybody to use that number. And oftentimes I pick up on things on Facebook, but it could be hours later, and only because someone pointed it to me, and that's how I found out. I mean, we're not sitting here just monitoring Facebook, and it's a good tool to share with information with your neighbors, won't have it, but someone has to step up to the plate and call the police department so that the police are notified of what's going on, so they can hopefully get there or react in a timely manner. Okay, so that's it. Mrs. King, please, a reminder to email me at mvargas@cityofparis.com, and I look forward to talking with the communities of Monument Ranch. Okay, at this time, we're going to move on to item 13, our city manager's report.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, thank you. Just a couple elaborations in regards to the census. For those individuals who might request help in filling out the census, our local nonprofit TODEC is available to assist those who might need it. So we encourage them to work with them. I also want to point out that this Friday is our final Reels on Wheels, our movie, drive-in movie style, will be at the Train Museum, and that's at 7:30 this Friday. The movie will be Hedgehog, so hopefully some of you know what that movie is. I don't, but we encourage you all to participate. And then I do want to elaborate on Councilmember or Mayor Pro Tem Rogers regarding the water payments. We do have two brand new boxes that have been installed on the east and west doors for individuals to drop off their payments. There's a overnight one for the weekends, which we encourage to use if you're using cash, since it goes directly into the building. And as part of the ways we wanted to encourage individuals to use your online resources, we now waive the fees to pay your water bill online. So we encourage residents to use that instead. And just want to point out in tonight's consent item, consent agenda, Councilmember Corona mentioned the 4 parks, which total about $4 million. We also had several infrastructure projects related to traffic. They're not as fun and as exciting as parks, but nonetheless, they open the door for future development, and they also provide a huge opportunity for jobs. We had close to $18 million in infrastructure projects that were on the agenda this evening. So between that and the RCTC project you heard about, we had close to $50 million in development that this council approved tonight. And that, if you multiply that, is a huge boom to the local economy as well as the creation of jobs. So although you guys kind of approved it very matter of fact and very quickly, it was a huge achievement. So I did want to point that out. We will be providing a overview in probably the end of either September or October, which will kind of list all of our capital projects and also lay the groundwork for the next couple of years. So that concludes all my items, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, brings our adjournment item 14. I thank everybody for joining us this evening and apologize for any inconvenience of technical difficulties. This is our first true complete Zoom meeting with the community, so hopefully we'll get better as we go along. And with that, I'd like to adjourn in memory of Arturo Cervantes Sr., the father of our Chief Information Officer, Mr. Arturo Cervantes Jr., who recently passed away. So, Mr. Chief Information Officer, our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family, and we will adjourn this evening in your father's name. Thank you, everybody. Good night, and thank you for joining us.